Students didn't know that Math Genius works as a security guard here. Welcome to Cinema Magic. Today we'll show you a 2022 film titled In Our Prime. The film shows Ji-woo, an outcast at a prestigious private school, meets Hak-sung, the school janitor who's actually a mathematical genius who defected from North Korea. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Things aren't good for Han Ji-woo, a teenage boy who just started his first year at a prestigious high school. Although his widow's mother is very poor, she's too busy earning her living daily. Ji-woo used to be the brightest student in his old humble school, but here, surrounded by geniuses, he's one step from the bottom of the class, especially in math. His classmates are wealthy, so they can afford tutors and boot camps, but Ji-woo's on a student welfare and can't afford such things. His teacher, Kim Jong-ho, suggests he transfer to a regular school for better grades. Hak-sung works as a security guard at the school and is nicknamed North Korean People's Army. One night in a dorm room, Ji-woo's friends ask him to sneak out and buy them drinks. However, when he was about to sneak back into the dorm room, Ji-woo was caught by the security guard Hak-sung. The following morning, Mr. Kim tries to get him to confess who else was part of this plan, but Ji-woo values loyalty and stays silent. This catches his classmate Park Bo-ram's attention, but also gets him temporarily kicked out of the dorms. After class, Park Bo-ram gives Ji-woo some money and thanks him for not telling on him. But Ji-woo refuses. They discuss the possibility of bringing in late-night snacks through other routes, but this has been impossible since Hak-sung started working as a guard. Hak-sung's doctor is warned that the job is not suitable for his health. However, as a North Korean defector, Hak-sung has no other choice than a better job to fulfill his daily needs. Hak-sung spent most of his time drinking strawberry milk, feeding his pet turtle, and playing Sudoku. Ji-woo decides to go to his mom's house, but seeing his mother so happy and proud of him, he leaves. Having no place to live, Ji-woo hides in an abandoned lab. But he's caught by Hak-sung, who allows him to spend time in his office. When Ji-woo was sleeping, Hak-sung solved his math homework. Seeing his homework completed, Ji-woo was so shocked. He thanks Hak-sung and begs him to teach him math. Hak-sung refuses and kicks him out of his room. Ji-woo overhears his teachers talking about the students who are financially poor and not good at their studies, and one of them is Ji-woo. Ji-woo doesn't want to change his school, so he begs Hak-sung again. Hak-sung advises him to change colleges, which makes Ji-woo emotional and angry. He wants the same opportunity as other students in the school. Hak-sung finally agrees, but on some conditions. Ji-woo had to buy him strawberry milk as a payment. He asks Ji-woo to keep it a secret as he would only teach him math. Hak-sung teaches Ji-woo that finding an answer is important, but understanding the question is more important. Hak-sung remembers the time when he and his friend Oh were awarded a pen from a world championship. While staying in Hak-sung's office, Ji-woo learns many things about him, like he loves to listen to classical music before going to bed. Ji-woo plays the song from his mobile with a better quality, which causes Hak-sung to sleep peacefully. At school, Jeon-ho tells all his students to participate in a math competition to help them enter prestigious colleges. Students were depressed as they had just 2 months of preparation. Bo-ram notices Ji-woo buying strawberry milk and thinks it's his favorite. Ji-woo learns his friend is changing schools because of the intense competition. Bo-ram tells Ji-woo they're both in the same position. But after seeing her mother picking her up in an expensive car and clothes, he's annoyed. Bo-ram's mother asks her to stay away from poor students like Ji-woo and hires Jeon-ho as her private tutor. As an apology, Bo-ram gives Ji-woo strawberry milk. She starts to follow him and ends up in Hak-sung's room. Hak-sung accepts her as his student. Bo-ram asks some personal questions from Hak-sung. She asks if he was a soldier and why he loves math so much. Hak-sung used to be a soldier from North Korea. He reveals that at first he used to study math to get scholarships, but the deeper you get, the more beautiful it gets. Knowing that Bo-ram learns pianos, Hak-sung turns the notes into numbers so she can make a specific theme in her mind. One day, Ji-woo gets in trouble for using the method Hak-sung taught him. As a punishment, he had to stand out from the class. Ki-shol gives Hak-sung a new smartphone to listen to songs clearly and reads the thesis he wants. Hak-sung was reading the article, but it was difficult because of the small screen. So Jiwoo printed the whole thesis in his school's computer room. Jiwoo solved the problems quicker during an exam, while Bo-ram was very confused and left the class. Bo-ram was grounded by her mother. Bo-ram anonymously leaks the question paper on social media, and the school is looking for the culprit. One day, Jiwoo and Hak-sung were in the market when a man started calling Hak-sung professor and told him that he attended Hak-sung's math classes. He calls Jiwoo by the name of Lee Tae-yo. They both leave. Hak-sung reluctantly talks about his past at home because of the constant questioning of Jiwoo. He tells Jiwoo that Lee Tae-yo was his son who used to love pet turtles and drink strawberry milk. While in the cafeteria, Jiwoo watches a program that reports that the mathematical theory Riemann hypothesis was solved by a North Korean mathematician, Lee Hak-sung. A professor announces that he knows about Lee Hak-sung, who represented North Korea in an international mathematical competition while he was representing South Korea at the time. He also mentioned that they were given a good pen. Jiwoo asks about the Riemann hypothesis, but Hak-sung gets annoyed and angry. Jeon-ho started receiving threats and felt depressed. Schools call him and say they suspect a student. That student was Jiwoo, who can be seen leaving the computer lab with files in the CCTV footage. Jiwoo insists that he was holding something else, but not a question paper, but Jeon-ho blackmailed him by saying he could send him to jail. So he asks him to change his school, but he won't disclose it to the public. The rumor of Jiwoo leaking the paper spread over social media. Bo-ram feels sad and guilty. On the other hand, North Korea is very angry at South Korea as they took advantage. They forced Ki-shol to ask Hak-sung to clear everything publicly. Hak-sung started packing his bags while Ki-shol gave him the research papers he was working on. Hak-sung gets furious seeing those papers as they were the main reason for the death of his son. Jiwoo listens to their conversation quietly. Hak-sung recalls his son being bullied because they were North Koreans. He blamed his father and accused him of giving more importance to his research paper than his family. His son decided to return to North Korea but was shot by the Gard troops. Since then, he's thrown away his research paper. Blaming himself for everything, Jiwoo sneaks into his mother's house to get her stamp on the transfer documents. The next day, Jiwoo submitted his papers to Jeon-ho. Hak-sung gets a call from Bo-ram, who tells him everything about Jiwoo. Students were gathered in the hall for the function. Bo-ram invited Jiwoo to the hall as he was leaving. Professor Oh was delivering a speech about Riemann hypothesis, which has gone viral. Hak-sung enters the hall and shows him the same pen Professor Oh had. Professor Oh immediately turned delighted and welcomed Hak-sung heartwarmingly. Hak-sung tells everything that happened to save Jiwoo. He tells everyone that he was the one who taught Jiwoo complex math. He also reveals that Jiwoo was printing a research paper for him and that it was Jeon-ho who leaked all the papers to the students who took all the personal tutoring from him. He also explains why he needed to fly to South Korea as there wasn't any freedom in North Korea. Ki-shol was waiting for Hak-sung outside the school in his car and handed him a South Korean passport, which means he could travel anywhere. 3 years later, Jiwoo was studying at college. He's on his way to visit a mathematician research institute to meet Hak-sung, and he surprises him with strawberry milk and solves a math program together. And here, the movie ends. That's all for this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting movie recap videos.